Hi everyone, Gianni Di Poce here with you for TheoTrade, and today is Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. It's the first day of the third quarter as we just wrapped up a very exciting, profitable, and fun second quarter. So let's get straight into it. We're seeing the S&P actually make a pretty nice comeback here today after quite a bit of selling early on in the day. We are flirting with the session highs, trying to take out the high from the previous day as well. The NASDAQ is struggling a bit more compared to the S&P, but it's not just the NASDAQ that's struggling, it's semiconductors. Now, semiconductors are doing a little bit better than the NASDAQ today, which is a good sign. But the leader of the day is the Dow. So I want to be clear. I think we're still in a bull market. We are getting later in this rally where I think the primary focus needs to be booking profits, raising stop losses, and protecting what you've made over the last few months. But we still are probably going to see some new highs. So, again, I prefer to see the NASDAQ leading and outperforming the upside. I like to see semiconductors outperforming the S&P. Um, we've called this the Great Tech Reset for a reason, and technology, is one day off of its all-time high. I'm not going to fret. I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to change my plan for the market based on one down day or one day where the market's not going up. That's not how we do things over here. But overall, seeing some nice moves. We did manage to book profits today over in the Trinity trade for Robinhood. Came away with a 44% gain on the first part of the position. The stock hit our upside target at $95 per share. So that was another nice winner, kind of tying into the theme of financials and cryptocurrency related names. We had a nice trade on Coinbase recently in the $1 million challenge, booked 92% profits on this one when it hit 350. It's now below there. And then even last week, we managed to book gains on Core Scientific for 42% over in the Trinity trade. So things are moving. Things are moving in this market. And on that note, Bitcoin still chopping around a little bit here underneath technical resistance. To me, this is still bullish price action. Seems as though, it's waiting for some sort of big headline perhaps related to the Genius bill. But even Ethereum is down so far today. I do like that low from last Monday in terms of being an important bottom for Ethereum. But again, there still are some names moving in TheoTrade live chat. We do have that position open on HUT 8. Came within about 25 cents of our upside target at 20. So we'll be updating members on that, what to do going forward later this week on Thursday for what I like to call garbage day. Once a week I make a point to go through all of the stocks that we're watching, that we're trading. Actually, in the Trinity trade, we do it more. We do it at least twice a week. Update our stop losses, see what the risk reward is going forward. That is the essence. That is the primary job of the trader when it comes to managing open positions. It's not just like we buy our stock and it either works or it doesn't. No, there's tweaking, there's tinkering that goes on along the way, and it's honestly one of the most important things to make sure you can hold those positions to maximize the gains. So, take a look at some of the other names, big tech names in the market. Tesla struggling today. It seems like another round of beef is coming up between Elon and Trump. So we'll see where that settles. We actually opened up a position in Apple here in the Trinity Trade live room in the last couple of weeks, and it looks like we are about to be rewarded for that. We had a nice update yesterday, some follow through to the upside in Apple. That's looking strong. Still have that position open in Microsoft. That hit a new all-time high yesterday. Still gunning for that rally up to the 560 area. We're down a little bit today, but again, nothing that's too concerning. I still like Nvidia. A lot of these semiconductor names, like Broadcom, we have a position in that, hit a new all-time high yesterday. American Superconductor, another tech name that we've traded with some success as of late, looking pretty strong as well. So, the big thing for me is not making much ado of one day worth of price action. So go ahead and take a look at precious metals. I will say the rebound here in gold is catching my attention. I would like to see a little bit more downside in precious metals before we begin the next phase of the bull market. I don't really have many positions, if any, in this space right now. Some good things happening, some other things that I'm not too excited about. But I do think a lot of the strength in metals has to do with the ongoing weakness in the dollar. You can see here the dollar against the yen up off the lows of the day, but the yen is still getting the better of the dollar by a slim margin here today. In the euro, we hit another new multi-year high, pulling back some dollar, recapturing some ground on that front. So a little bit extended. There's a huge short position against the dollar right now. So, the contrarian take would be to say, hey, the dollar's bottoming out here. And I would actually be open to hearing that discussion go on because I do think that the easy money in the dollar short has been made. There might be a little bit more downside in the dollar, a little bit more upside in the euro and the yen before this all settles out. But I wouldn't be betting the house on the dollar going much lower at this point. Take a look at bonds. We're kind of chopping around. We had Powell talking today on a panel saying, oh, yeah, we're going to cut interest rates, but inflation could be a problem this summer. I mean, just talking out of both sides of his mouth in typical central banker fashion. You take a look at crude oil here, basically consolidating the losses. This is not not a chart that really gets me excited. And I do think that we could see another leg lower in crude oil. Not a lot of exposure to the energy space at the moment. I do think that in the coming months that will change, and I think we will want some exposure to energy. But right now, there's a nice rotation going into healthcare, biotech, trying to come back alive. There could be some opportunities here. Going to continue watching this carefully. But again, I think the bigger opportunities remain in the tech space, especially in semiconductors, which actually continue to come back off the lows of the day. This is actually not bad price action as I'm looking at it now. But as you can see here, stocks are closer to the highs of the day than the lows at this point. But overall, this is not a market to be forcing the issue on the long side right now. If you've missed the rally at this point, I need you to take a deep breath because there will be a nice opportunity to get into this market, I think, in the next month, maybe even 6 weeks. But right now, time's running out on this rally. There still is upside, but it's limited. And the last thing you want to be doing is chasing this move irresponsibly at this phase of the rally. So, what I'm looking for is perhaps some of those lower quality names in the market, those highly shorter names to experience some big upswings. It's kind of going to be the last signal that I'm looking for to tell me, hey, we're about ready to top out here. But when it comes to dips, I think you still want to be buying dips, especially when it comes to technology. So tech, best performing sector out of that April low. Semiconductors doing even better. Communications did very well last week. Netflix has been very, very nice to us. We already booked profits on this one. Still looking to get out of the rest of the position on a rally to 1400 if we can. Ideally, before earnings, that's coming up next on Netflix in about 2 weeks. So we'll keep you posted on that. But all in all, good things happening in this market. So we just need to sit back, relax, enjoy a little bit of time off at the end of this week when the market's going to be closed for the 4th of July. And that's all for now, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in the TheoTrade chat room. Talk soon.